tip number one, if you are a seller, these kind of pieces are so valuable in your shop because what they do is they stock your shop with items that can sell multiple seasons. And we're going to use a beautiful bow combo that's going to really accent this whole look. So the first thing we need for this design is we need a killer greenery. And this is your tip number two. I'm going to pull in a greenery that has a touch of these pretty colors so that it allows me to bring in a little bit more muted tones for fall. Then I want to have a gorgeous sunflower, and I picked this one out because of the petal. It's got a beautiful petal and it's got a beautiful deep center. Then you need a filler flower to keep it super easy recipe. And that, when you use it in a piece, it gives you that baby's breath vibe that is so popular. It's that little bitty micro flower. You're gonna wanna take your eucalyptus and start to set out your perimeter of the design. And the way I wanna do that is I'm gonna take all of these pieces and start to shape up our base. Y'all, if you love the way I'm teaching today, you've gotta come join us in design school. I teach designing step by step. So not only can you make your own wreaths for your home, but you can learn the process over and over so you can have beautiful pieces that you can decorate with. And then if you ever want to sell them, I'm going to teach you how to do that as well and take your projects to the next level. We've got business coaching also where we are ready to help you. So let us know if you need the links for any of that. We're happy to assist you in getting all the info you want. So you're going to cut down each of these stems and start to create your what we call perimeter on the design. So that means how far these pieces are going to go out. Now I'm going to have two bows on this one. So it's going to be a party with two bows. Now these stems come in what we call perfect placement. So they already have a great triangle placement set up when you put one of these stems in. So that saves us a step. So sometimes when you're shopping a little bit higher end products, the product placement when the product is even made is better than some of the big box stores or the cheaper discount stores. They are about value, where our products are about quality, and the higher quality and the better design structure immediately you're getting. So these are so great that they have perfect placement. So look at that, look for that in pieces that you purchase, whether it's from us on Keleas.com or somewhere else you're shopping. That's what you're wanting to look for. And we encourage you to support smaller retailers who are just out trying to provide good quality content and supplies to you guys. Merinos, I love to support our floral community. Let's put a couple more up here to continue to build out the perimeter. I'm going to use 4 of these on the top here, and then we'll use 2 on the bottom of our design, and I'll explain that to you in just a second. Make sure you shake hands with these, just like we would in design school. We're spacing them out, and I'm cutting off most of the stem, and I'm going to bring this one in also. So I'm manipulating them all so they have a little bit of movement. That is so important. You got to have movement because you got to have direction and design and flowing and all of that. That's the movement. That's why you want these to be so nicely wired and really rocking out your design. Isn't that pretty so far? Okay. Anywhere I can see my glue, I'm putting that moss on before it even gets hot. Now I'm kind of thinking the midline of this design is going to be right here in the center, right here. Okay. So that means my second cluster is going to go on this side over here. So we're going to go ahead and set out that perimeter right now with this greenery as well. If you need the supply list, it's available on Keleas.com. You can just text us at 832-734-5201. Just text us the word supply and it'll shoot you the supply list. Gives you a link to the most recent supply list, so just scroll down. But we've got our website set up to just rock out information to you. If you're watching in the middle of the night, you don't have to wait for a response to an email. You can just text us. If you use the right keyword, it'll just send you the info you need, and we're always updating those links. So I went high and low over here. We've got these great spaces going on. What we're doing is we're creating 2 transition points here. So they're gonna work opposite each other, and our midline of our wreath is coming right down here. So our bows are gonna go into those 2 bow zones in just a little bit. So now it's time to really get those gorgeous sunflowers in and start to utilize them into our design. So I'm going to take, and we need to push the leaves up a little bit closer to the heads. So you've got to pull those little leaves up. And then the stems, usually, you know, on something that's fairly wispy, I'm good with leaving the stems about 4 or 5 inches long. That's fine. So just take and cut down that whole bush. We're going to start with the first bush. Now, every time you do this, you have to kind of sort your bush. So we're going to have sort your bush. I said it. Sort it. So we're going to trim this one off too to about 5 inches. And then what we're going to do is sort out each flower so we get all the flowers that go together. Basically, we're matching up heights is what we're doing. Now, we're going to start off with the longest stems. So as you're sorting it, pull these long girls out, because those we're going to want kind of at our longest points shooting out into the eucalyptus. Okay, so I'm looking for all the really tall ones. Here they are, and we're going to use those to go between. Start to get some spacing. You want to give it a twirl in that swirl in that glue and get a good amount of glue on here. And then a big pet peeve of mine is that the leaves need to face forward. So take some time, spin those around, get that head popping forward. Really important. Now I can see a whole lot of glue here. It's not pretty. That's okay. We use our Spanish moss to fill in there. All right, now we're going to come below. If you did it on the top, you're going to do it on the bottom. Same thing. Rotate the leaves forward. We don't want to see the backs of those leaves. We want to see the front. The head needs to come forward also. Let her just kind of poke up and say, hello, good to see you. Over here, over here. And I'm going to put her just right in here between these eucalyptus. Okay, and I want to feel it go tight between 2 pieces of the grapevine. Once it does that, then I'm going to go ahead and add my Spanish moss. And I just make a little ball of it and just go on that little piece of glue. You can use more if you're trying to keep it from sliding around. But on these, they're sitting in there pretty good. Just a little bit of work. So now we're going to work on either side of the eucalyptus, still with the long one. So I'm going to go back to the top, and we're going to go right in here. Beautiful. Rotate the leaves around. We want to see the fronts of them, not the backs. Get the head looking forward. And we're going to use this, these flowers in mass. Like, we want these to be like loaded in here. So we're starting out at the perimeter of the design, but we're going to work our way back in. We're gonna work back in. All right, come into the middle. Now right in here. Yeah, pop her in. And she's gonna look up and be happy, happy, happy. All right, and now my moss is going in. Okay, 2 and 2. If we're doing it on the top, we're doing it on the bottom. Just pretend like there's a mirror right here running through the middle, and you're just gonna repeat what you're doing on the top on the bottom. And I'm still going to grab these longer pieces. And then after this next 2 go in, we can start to go with some shorter ones. No problem. Okay, we're going to go in right here. And make sure you're not going through the back. You want to make sure you bend that stem and it's going into the grapevine. We don't want to scratch people's doors. No, no, no. We don't. We've got to protect their doors. Make sure that is going into the grapevine. All right, beautiful. And now we're going to bring our third one down here at the bottom. I'm going to go a little bit more to the outside. Actually, we could just go to the inside. We can continue to do what we were just doing. So right here, a little bit more inside. Mirror it exactly. Watch, you got to watch out. I'll go rogue sometimes. Sometimes I go rogue. Rogue. Now I'm going to put this moss in here. So we've got 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Now we're going to work our way back to the center. We're still going to keep filling into the middle. So I'm going to take any of the shorter guys now. Like if I have a longer one, we'll save that for the bottom. We're going to take these shorties. See how the stem's a lot shorter? We're going to use those next. So now I'm going to take and work on the outside. Come on in here. Now we don't have to get too tight to the center because remember, we have what we're calling a bow zone. There's a bow going in here. So we have to leave like a little void in there. So you've got to think about that too as you're putting these in. Hey, I'm putting a big, beautiful bow in here in a minute. No, it's no need to fill it in whatsoever. Here comes some moss here, and then let's put some moss at the bottom. Isn't that gorgeous? Just like that. Okay, and then how about right in the middle at the top? I just trimmed that one down a little bit more. So this will give us 5 flowers at the top, okay? And down here we have 4, so we need 1 more in the middle, and we'll have 5 as well. Isn't it looking good already? We're just getting going, and it's looking so good. All right, we're gonna come in the middle. Right in there. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Now let's come and work in the zone down here that is kind of in the second bow zone, okay, right in here. So that means I'm gonna need some flowers above and some below. So the same concept is gonna happen now. I'm gonna rotate my leaves around, get my flower looking pretty. And I'm gonna put this first one right back here. Because it's another opportunity to be smiling up here, you beautiful sunflower. Can you see how pretty this is gonna be on your door in the summer? It's gonna be gorgeous. Okay, and let's come out to the right. And then I need to get a little Spanish moss in there. We got a little bit of glue showing from the first one. Let's get that covered. The same pattern up here, we're gonna just flip it, mirror it right down here. Same thing. And the reason we do that is because we call those transition points, and they're a crucial part of design. They're important to control the flow. And yeah, we go with the flow, but it's important that we control how the eye is seeing what we're putting in. You see how that flower is kind of drooping as the glue is kind of can't really hold it yet because it's too hot? That's what you use Spanish moss for. I am going to use that in there right now, so I immediately control the head. The head's going to sit up and look really pretty. When you're silk flower designing, you have so much more control, and like a florist has to work so hard to add all kinds of things to their florals to make them do what they want them to do, and it's just so much respect for them and all the preparation they have to do. So when you work with artificial florals, yes, they're expensive, but the things they have built into them and the beautiful colors and patterns and things you can get now are amazing, and it really make it worth it in the long run of how you're able to diversify your collection and make some gorgeous pieces for yourself. Okay, we've got 2 here and 2 here. We're gonna get 3. We're gonna work for 3 in each section. So I'm gonna trim this one and get it a little shorter. Now I want this one to go on the side. I'm gonna put it in and just give that a little bend. And then 1 more at the bottom. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's go a little bit longer. So I'm gonna pick out a little longer one. But I love how we have the 2 greeneries in here mixing so nicely together. That just makes your eye think, oh, it's transitioning a little into fall. And that just goes so great. Can you see this with scarecrows? In the summertime, you've got this rockin' with your sunshine. You've got your black and white check cushions on the porch. And then you pop it into, now we got the scarecrow out. We got the bales of hay. Not the hails of bay, but the bales of hay. You got those out, and it's just gonna transition so nicely. Okay, I've got a few sunflowers left, and I'm gonna just put those to the side. We might want to add in a couple more in a little bit, but I want you to see how good it's looking. Nice shape. And we're gonna rotate it a little bit over. Our midline's gonna run right beside the bottom bow, and the bows are gonna work opposite. So keep that in mind when you're creating this, and leave those bow zones nice and big. Guess what it is? Twig time. It's twig time. But we're using a filler flower as our twig. One of my favorite pieces. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is pretty plasticky. It's kind of cringy when you first look at it, but when you use it in your piece, you're gonna be so excited about it. I love it in the pieces I use it in. So we don't need to cut these super long because this is just on a 14-inch wreath base. So just gonna cut a couple inches below. And we're gonna do that with both bushes here. Okay, just a couple of inches below the stem. And we're ready to put these twigs in. They're 2 for 1. They're a twig filler flower. And that's gonna make them so fun. Now I'm gonna give you a tip. When I put these in, I don't want them to ever look like goalposts. Like We do not want field goals. No. No field goals, no three-pointer signs if you're doing basketball. We want these to be staggered. So you'll want one higher, one lower. So I'm gonna put one in and then we'll put the other one a little higher or a little lower. And so here comes my first one, okay? She's in. Now I can go higher or lower. So I'm gonna go a little bit lower right here. So just a little bit shorter than the other one, okay? Sometimes that means you cut it, but in this case, we call it piggyback because we're not gonna cut it, we're just gonna come down a little when I place it in. So they're both in the same plane, they're working together, but one's higher, one's lower. Really important for the finished look of your design. All right, let's keep putting them in. That's number one. You still have to cover up any glue with moss. Just little balls of it here. I just wad it up, press it on. You don't burn yourself or anything, you're just putting it on. All right, let's put our next one in. And I'm gonna grab it first. Now this one, I'm gonna come through here, right through here. So I might give it just a slight bend, just a little. We'll put our first one in. And I'm swirling that in my glue pot. Come down here and we're gonna push it into the vine. Y'all, 26 years doing this now. It is my passion. I love to create floral designs and I've worked a lifetime to get my business where it is and be able to absolutely do my passion is a pleasure and a joy and a dream, and I could not do it without you being here. So thank you so much for being here and supporting our page. Wherever you're watching, you are priceless to us and my family. So a little higher, a little lower. Same thing, piggybacking. Now let's put one kind of coming out the middle. And this one we can kind of keep straight. We don't really have to curve it. I'm gonna put the first one out long. And I watch my leaves, I pull those out of the way. And I want it to be kind of bridging the gap between those greeneries. Greenery, greenery, bridge the gap. And we're gonna put one in a little shorter. So right in this zone would be great. Come a little shorter, I'm gonna give it a little bend. The reason you'll see me give things bend is because it's that depth and dimension. I say it all the time. Depth and dimension means more money when you're selling your work. So keep working on that. Flat means less money. Depth and dimension, more money. Okay, and when I say depth and dimension, I want you to see how far that's coming off the wreath? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Depth and dimension means money for you in your pocket. All right, let's come down to the bottom, repeat that process. That looks really pretty. Let's go over here. We're gonna put the first one in and we're gonna piggyback number two. A little bit of a curve maybe. A little bit of a curve. Number two. And I am trying to be mindful of my bow zone here. Trying not to get too deep into it. If you struggle with that, you can go ahead and put your bow in before you put these in. That'd be fine. I hate fluffing my bow 6 times because I get in here and I'm shoving and stuff, around the bow. So that's why I do it later. Totally fine if you want to do it now. And I haven't always done things the way I do it now. I have like a ADD when it comes to designing. I know what I want. I'm going to get it done now. And I want it to come together really quickly. So some things I do are a little bit not how you do them when you're beginning, and that's okay. Another thing I do is you're going to see me glue everything as I'm putting it in, but it's totally fine if you are still at the phase where you need to make sure that you're happy with its placement before you do that. That would be fine. You could just stick it in, come back and glue it. Absolutely fine. Okay, so I've got these 2 in, so 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, and now I'm ready for my third one to come around the middle. I do need to swoop this one up more because I don't want to overlap too much with my secondary bow zone. I'm gonna come up here, make these girls sit up pretty, and then put this down here. There you go. Tuck it in, tuck it in. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, and I'm gonna kick this up. Okay, one more. Okay, so we really rock this out. Can you see how effective a filler flower is? And I told you, There's nothing wrong with this one. It's super plasticky, but it doesn't matter. It's effective in this design. That's why I keep carrying this one, because it's kind of surprising how good it looks in pieces, and it holds up great because it's pretty weather resistant. Okay, now we gotta put a few down here, and we're gonna go with a little less filler flower down here. So we're gonna have 2 per section, and they're gonna kind of just go out pretty long. So I'm just gonna take and swoop them just down just a little bit to bring the eye just a little bit down. And this is how you're gonna be seeing this wreath, to be more centered bow. So here comes my first one. So I'm gonna take and bring it right here from where the bow is gonna be. Just gonna kind of tuck it in pretty, and I want it to kind of swoop down. Okay. And my second one in that spot, same thing. I'm gonna have it go a little bit lower than that one. And see how I'm giving it lots of motion, and it's letting all those pieces stick up. Yes. The detail you can put into your work simply by fluffing out the quality pieces you're purchasing from Keleas.com and using, you can just add so much little detail that you cannot get from a big box store, because their florals are made to be a little more cost effective, and when they are, they just leave out some of the wires and things because that keeps the price down, and that unfortunately limits you on what you can do with it and how it's going to look the next season, because I was kind of shocked and amazed that it didn't hold up as well as I thought they would. It had been a while since I had bought some stuff from one of the big craft stores, and I was kind of surprised how difficult it really was to work with compared to our stuff. And some of that's because I've been doing this so long. I know what to buy, I know what to pick out, I know what to carry, I know it's going to be easy to work with. You'll never see me use a pick maker. I don't believe in those. I haven't used one of those probably in 10 years, maybe longer, 15 years, because I just, it was too much work to always be fixing them and dealing with them. So I learned if I just buy things that are better wired from the beginning, I don't need the pick maker. I don't need to add picks to things. I can just buy things, and I learned how to cut and break up bushes. All that kind of stuff I teach in design school, so your money goes further on quality products. Okay, we got our 2 bow zones ready. We're gonna put our first bow in here at the bottom. A bow can go one of 2 ways. This is the one with the long tails, and the reason I'm putting this one at the bottom is so that these tails can just flow way down. Look how pretty they are. And I'm gonna put her in right there. Oh my gosh, it looks good already. Oh, whoa. Looks good. So I'm gonna put her in right there. I'm gonna grab, there we got a lot going in this zone, so see if you can grab a couple pieces of the grapevine and then pop back through. There's a lot in there, so be patient. And we're gonna pull that in pretty tight there. We left a nice little bow zone. Then I have to come back and cut the end of the cable tie off. That's what I'm doing now. I'm not gonna pull it all the way tight, just medium, okay? Now that one's in, I got a slight angle on this. One of the things I love to teach in design school too is talking about the angles of pieces and how we can have those angles kind of go with or against each other. And you'll notice here, this one's gonna go this way. Now when you get ready to put your other bow in, here it is. This one has the fun tails going up and down. And that one goes in this top part where we use that long bow at the bottom to bring the eye down on the door and really let that bow flow. So this one, I stole that cable tie out of the back because I was taking pictures. This one's gonna go in here, and you've got some choices. You can control this creative part of your design. It can go straight like this. That's beautiful, to have a straight line and then have this at an angle. And that just kind of flows right there. And you can see there's a little line going down straight between these two, and then a line going across. Visually, that looks beautiful. You can match the angle. As in, this one's sitting like this, it can sit like this and match it. Really cute too. Isn't that fun? And then finally, you know what else you could do? Go opposite with it. So this way, or this way. You can play with all those options. I think I'm gonna go matching the angle this time and just bring it straight in like that. You can always switch that up to whatever you prefer. This is the creative part of the project and go to town, have so much fun. I'm gonna bring it around. Actually, you know, all of this is the creative part, but that little simple detail is kind of surprising how effective it can be. All right, we cut off the tail. Now just slide it over. Get it over here into the picture. Yeah, you gotta get in here. I'm gonna let those tails kind of work through the flowers. And look how quickly and cute that came together. Poof out these loops. And look at this. Look at this. Isn't she beautiful? Look at those long tails going down. I mean, she is looking amazing. All right, Blue Merinos, I'm gonna see you next time where we're gonna make something beautiful together. Go have fun with flowers. Bye, guys.